is a mirage.
They're all surrounded by water, but all of the water is surrounded by Antarctica. Antarctica is not at the bottom of a ball. It's the land that surrounds us. Okay? And people are like, well, how come no one's ever gone to the edge? Well, that's not true. Probably millions at this point of people have gone to Antarctica. There's bases in Antarctica, but they're all along the edge. Antarctica is high, it's cold, it's frozen. There may be warm places in Antarctica. There's evidence of that. Admiral Byrd, with his trip out there in the 1950s, said they found warmer land bigger than the United States that no human has ever stepped foot upon, right? But they want you to believe that the edge of the world is this. And they show you stuff like this, ice wall, and this will come up. This isn't what any flat earther believes. This is only what globe believers think flat earthers believe, okay? But there's video, there's all sorts of stuff from Antarctica. And it's Antarctica is very guarded. And, you can spend a minimum of $10,000 or way more to go there. They just take you to that little peninsula off of Santiago, Chile, which is still, it's gigantic islands. And they tell you that's Antarctica, but they don't let you explore the outer lands. Here's Antarctica from space. These are all cartoons. Why don't we have any, satellite? Again, satellite images aren't real. They're all from balloons and high-flying aircraft. There are no satellites falling around the Earth. We can talk about that when you ask your questions. Mm-hmm. So if you have a body of water, right? If you go out to a calm lake and you look at it and say, okay, how do I describe the surface of that lake? Is it a U? Is it an arc? Or is it flat? Well, it's flat. Then you imagine that lake 10 times bigger. Is it still flat? Or is it a U? Is it an arc? Or is it still flat? Flat. Bigger you get, flat, 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 flat. We've tested big lakes. We've gone, 26 miles, 40 miles, even farther across lakes with lasers, and it's flat. There's no curvature.
I have no idea what a trillion seconds is. How
All right, so you want to talk about the distances. So we're going to use some science.
I need the perspective because, I was blown away.
Yeah.
You're right. Our brain cannot process numbers.
Right. So they don't teach us to process large numbers. We hear trillions. We're in trillions of debt, trillions of this, and we don't realize how big a trillion is, and if someone hears a light year, well, it's only one light year. There's,
exactly. It's a year, it's a light year.
Yeah. Right. The distance light travels in a year. It's absolutely ridiculous. The closest star is 25 trillion miles away. And that's the closest. The other ones are magnitudes farther. 25 trillion. So a trillion seconds, just for perspective, is, the answer.
Yeah.
31.
But you can still give me a Bitcoin if I say the correct answer.
If you guess it within a day, I'll give you a Bitcoin. Go ahead.
31,000 years.
Well, no, you're off by somewhere within a year, not as close to a day. It's 31,000 years, okay? 31,000 years. Think about that. A second. If I paid you $1 every second, it would take 31,000 years, okay? Forget about it, okay? And then, so if you're traveling to that star at a mile per second, which no one's ever gone, in 31,000 years, you're only 1/25th of the way to that star.
What you're seeing here is a mirage.
We accept the reality of the world with which we're presented. It's as simple as that.